It's been on my mind and I wanted to make a video about it. So whether you're feeling a lack of motivation, whether or not you're thinking of getting started, I implore you to get started with or without me and to really try and experiment creating something on this platform. What's up YouTube? In this video, I'm going to talk about why at this very moment, even now, it is not too late for you to start. And hopefully after watching this, that burning passion, that burning idea that you have in the back of your mind, you would be willing to get started. I'm Steven Su. I'm a YouTube consultant / expert when it comes to content strategy, optimization, SEO, Google Trends, etc. Click-through rate, watch time, everything you name it. That's what I do for a living. Now, I made a video similar to this. So you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel in this day and age. Do you know how difficult it is? Do you know how much time it takes to make videos? When I first started revamping my channel, and this is almost like a follow-up because a lot has happened since then. I launched a new program, I've been working with different clients, continue to gain a lot of experience, and what I want to say here, I want to motivate you who's watching right now and on the fence in terms of whether or not trying something on YouTube is the right step for you. That's why I decided to make this video to hopefully motivate all of you to get started, to continue, to get back on the horse and try some new ideas. So you know that I'm gonna start off with the quantitative data first, just because that's who I am. And what am I gonna say is the fact that right now in the world, YouTube is continuing to have more and more people consume their content, meaning that the acceleration of the YouTube audience is increasing more than usual. It is not at equilibrium, meaning that there are more people consuming YouTube, starting to consume YouTube, than people who are leaving and not consuming YouTube anymore. Always a good sign. There's always going to be people who are watching your content, and I think that that is why it is valuable to get started rather than later, especially when whether it's for passion or whether it's for business. Now, I also want to talk about, I think the quarter earnings was released from Alphabet. I just saw this report a few days ago, talking about how YouTube has made a record $5 billion in ad revenue. And this is from Google. So the fact that they are still performing extremely well in spite of everything that's going on in this year, this is just a sign to you that there is not any disadvantage when it comes to doing this, and YouTube is not going anywhere. The investors are still the way that they are, and therefore, whether you're feeling a lack of motivation, whether or not you're thinking of getting started, I implore you to get started with or without me and to really try and experiment creating something on this platform. Now, like I said, this is a follow-up, so it might be a little repetitive from the video I made back in May, but that's also how YouTube is that YouTube is always trying to find new people trying to find you. So I'm mostly talking to new people who have never seen my content before, and some people who have been following me ongoing, and which, by the way, thank you for that. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the idea that when you create something on the YouTube platform, when you are experimenting, you are pretty much putting yourself in a position where there is zero chance for you to fail. The only way that there are disadvantages to starting on this platform is if you are being illogical. Let's put it in a nice way, if you're being illogical. Because YouTube content is going to be on that platform regardless. Like if you upload now, if you upload a month from now, 2 months from now, it's gonna stay on there as long as YouTube is on there. And the way that I see it is that unless if you're doing content on the platform, which humiliates you, which puts you in a bad light, which you actually don't want people to see, that would be the only case where it would be disadvantages. It would be a disadvantage for you to create content on the platform. What you do is every time you upload a piece of content on the platform, you're essentially creating chances for you. You're putting yourself in a window of opportunity. And I'm talking to the people who, whether they are doing YouTube purely for passion, whether they are doing YouTube to strong arm, to leverage their existing business and trying to use video marketing tactics. Whatever the case it might be, what I can say is that it is highly unlikely that it would ever be disadvantageous for your content. So as a result, what are you investing? What are you doing? You are investing your time into creating the content, and also some money if you are doing equipment, finding an editor, things like that. But aside from that, you're pretty much creating an opportunity for yourself, which you never know might have its return one day.
Welcome back.
I want to give an example talking about, I think I've been creating content consistently since earlier this year. I created content sporadically for the past few years, but basically I had a video talking about upload frequency, which recently started to gain a bit more comments. I don't really get that many comments. If you're watching this right now, you can tell because I've made like a pretty big pivot on my channel, and it's taking a long time to accumulate viewership. But anyways, that video I made was months ago. And just recently, for the last week, I've gotten comments on that video, despite the fact that it hasn't been relevant anymore in my eyes. That's what I thought. But what I realized was that because of the content that I made, it lived in an evergreen status, meaning that unless if there was a big overhaul, unless if a big change happened on the YouTube platform, it's probably not going to have a problem, and people are still going to be watching it. So I use that as an example because if you have an idea, if you want to try something, if you have a business idea even, and you feel like I want to venture and see what's out there, YouTube is a great way to do that because yes, the content that is recommended tends to be newer, like meaning that YouTube likes to recommend newer content than older ones. But I can say from experience that even though content is old, if it is relevant to what's currently going on, to what your business is, to what's going on in the niche, in the genre, in the industry that you're in, it would still be beneficial to try it out, because who knows what type of opportunities that you get by having that on there. All I say is don't do anything stupid. Be smart when it comes to the content that you make so that it doesn't end up harming you in the future. The final point that I have in terms of why, if you're on the fence, you're interested, you want to get started, why you should start on YouTube, has to do with the idea that having worked with so many people from all these different walks of life, different stages in life, different career paths, if YouTube is a way for you to find that passion, that fire that was lost after being a few years in the corporate world or doing like a 9-to-5, whatever the case it might be, I found that YouTube has been therapeutic in terms of really bringing back that creativity, that spark, and bringing back that fire that you have when it comes to just living life. I know that's kind of conceptual, it's more abstract, this idea, but finding fulfillment in life is important. It's what we're all looking for, and that's why I live and breathe this industry. I've seen so many people's lives change, sometimes in a small way, sometimes in a big way, in terms of feeling fulfillment, satisfaction, and achievement when it comes to creating something on YouTube. There is nothing better than knowing that you have full ownership of creating the wealth and success that you have on this platform for your life, and that's the best feeling when it comes to how YouTube is. Whether or not it is tangible, like revenue, generating revenue, making a living, doing what you love and making a living from it, whether it's that or just the idea that it's something that you can share your passion with, help people. I realize that that's another thing that I've talked about with various clients, is they just want to help people as well, and I think YouTube gives you that satisfaction. And that's why, to sign off here, if you are on the fence and you want to get started, don't be afraid to message me, don't be afraid to comment below, and we can talk in terms of what your idea is, how we can create something from nothing, how we can build value and solidify that concept on the YouTube platform. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.